This is the Beats and Balls Show. That guy Ken. JR, the Beatmaker. Mr. Crisp.
Assemble. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Beats and Balls Show. This is episode 6, and as I'm sure you're aware by now, we are the sports entertainment podcast that gives you more than just the final results on the pitch, a hell of a lot more than that. And just for proof of that, make sure you go and check out our previous show with Enya Luko, where we covered everything from her career to her music to food and culture. We even dipped in on royalty, and there was actually so much that we covered during that show that we couldn't fit it all into one episode, so there is an extra portion also available with Enya Luko. Make sure you go and check that out. For now though, it's that time where I introduce the main man himself, Mr. Hustle, the Niger man, that guy Ken. How you doing, Ken?
I'm really, really good, man. It's been a really, really busy week. An impressive week. A couple of things that have just been popping off. So I'm going to find... Yeah. You know me, like I always say.
Anything you can share with us?
Not yet. Got to keep the dream real. Got to keep the hustle going. So, I'll fill you in as we go. Probably pop in a couple of snippets of what I've been up to during the course of this show. But yeah, man, it's been a great week. I hope yours has been as well.
Yeah, man, it's been all right. It's probably not been quite as eventful as yours, but you know, I've got my own little hustles going on. So.
Of course.
So do you want to tell the people what's coming up on the show today, Ken?
Yeah. So you know how we do. It's never. We try to keep it a little bit friendly, keep it smooth, keep it going. In this episode, we have a special guest, Rodney Johnson. He runs an AI-based influence and marketing agency. You know, it works with some fascinating clients in a broad range of sports. So you know me, I love all kinds of sports. Great to have Rodney on the show. So we've been exploring the role of AI and how it plays in all the sports that we participate in, how we consume sports, whether we're watching it or we're attending it or we're sharing content on sports that we like. As with all of our Beats and Balls shows, we have our regular features, you know, the socials, where we discuss what's caught our eye in the media this week. And then this week, I've got my own little special feature, as you know, King of Hearts. Again, you know.
You always dress so well for it.
I always come prepared, you know. It reminds me, it puts me in the right frame of mind. And then at the end, we bow out with Ball of the Week. You know, it's our mini competition where we nominate a person who's outstanding in their field. And our producer, Mr. Crisp, judges, and he crowns the Ball of the Week.
Yo.
So, first... We are going to go into the socials, but as you touched upon, we've got our guest, Rodney Johnson. Hello, Rodney.
Hey, how you doing?
It's good to have you on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
So, during the show, we're going to be talking a lot about AI, and basically, we're going to be picking your brains as much as possible.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
No, not ready.
Before we get started, though, we've got a bit of a running question that we want to ask as many people as possible. So, what is your favourite pickup sport?
Pickup sport? What is a pickup sport?
So, a pickup sport is any sport that you can just literally just pick up and play on a whim. You don't need too much prep. You can just go and do it. So, like maybe when you were a kid and if you were going to call your mates and be like, yeah, let's go out and play, finish the sentence, what would it be?
Football.
There you go.
Easy straight. Sorry, that's like...
I'm a very happy man.
I'm going to shoes, trainers, whatever.
Yeah. Is there a reason for that though? Is it...
Just naturally, like growing up in South London, there's always a ball around somewhere, not the best quality most times, but and there's always people that's around, and naturally there's just a sort of vibe around it.
Just happens, isn't it?
Just happens.
People coalesce. That's good, man. Well, I think it's very clear by now. That I don't know if Carl wants to drop this question or because like football is just destroying every answer. Like
it's still table tennis, man. I'm a Niger man. Yeah, I had a table tennis bat in my hand long before.
I'm on that tennis thing.
You know?
Oh, I know. But at least so far, that every guest that comes in, I'm not on my own.
No.
Like. Wow. It's always 2-on-2, tennis v football. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I like a bit of table tennis as well, you know.
Oh, okay. Okay, I think you can come and sit over here, and then I'll just have this side to my own. Right, so no, that's great. So are you willing to help us talk through the socials? It's just the things that we've seen this week. So I actually want to go first. I just want to quickly talk about a lady that people have been calling Wagatha Christie. This is Colleen Rooney.
Oh, right. Okay, I see.
Have you seen what's been going on?
I haven't actually. I haven't got all the details on that, but I've seen a lot of the sort of news and...
Yeah, so basically, she has a private Instagram account that can only be viewed by the people that follow her, so people that she's like allowed to follow her.
Okay.
And she was noticing that a lot of the things that she was putting on her Instagram stories were then being fed to a particular newspaper. I'm not going to mention their name because they sound a bit like the scum. So they were then being fed this information that was then making it onto their front pages, and Colleen Rooney had a very clear idea of who she thought it was.
Okay.
So she blocked everyone from seeing her Instagram stories, barring one individual, to see if the papers would still get the information.
Right.
And lo and behold, they did. And
I didn't know that she did that little test.
I didn't.
Yeah.
So into it. Okay.
So the famous line that has come from her publication of this is that the final line, which is "It's ... Rebecca Vardy's account." So she's kind of thrown Rebecca Vardy under the bus a little bit, but I mean, credit to Colleen. Like all credit to Colleen.
Like you gotta go,
Like you have to.
You gotta snoop, That's actually
like,
that's actually quite brilliant.
That's sick, isn't it?
That's actually quite brilliant.
So when they're calling her Wagatha Christie, man, I'm fully on board with that. Like she knows what she's doing. She's a very clever woman, and
of course,
I don't want to mess with Colleen, man.
They caught her red-handed.
That's it. That's it.
I think Jamie Vardy, or one of the two, between Jamie Vardy and Wayne Rooney, they've stopped following each other.
Oh, have they?
As well. Yeah. So there's even like a bit of a spat there or something.
Oh, wow.
But you know how it's big on Instagram if you unfollow someone, it's like, the world is ending.
Yeah. This is the world we live in.
Look, Instagram is big time now. Yeah, you have to have at least 6 accounts to be actually relevant.
Yes, that's true. And yourself.
Exactly. Now, what I've seen in this week's socials, I'm guessing you guys must have seen the Kanye West sort of stories about he's turned to Christ and he's now the greatest artist of all time. Yes. And the funniest thing is, you know what? If that comment, if he had said it, maybe I'd say 6-7 years. If he had said it before Kim, I'd have agreed with him. I know that sounds wrong, but I have a lot of heart and I love Kanye. 808s and Heartbreak.
Yeah,
I think it's probably one of the best albums ever put together. That guy is a genius when it comes to actually creating music. But I don't know what drugs he does. I'm trying to figure it out. And look, shout out to Kanye. I love him in terms of, because he's a creative, and you have to understand that creatives, they have this kind of, they find their source or they find their inspiration from lots of different places. And you can tell from Kanye, he has a lot of energy within him, and he wants to, really kind of show and diversify in terms of his creativity, whether it be fashion or it be art or it be music or whatever. But from time you're wearing the red hat that says "Make America Great" next to Trump, come on, man, I'm done. I'm out. Yeah. I'm not involved anymore, Kanye. I'm done.
Do you think you have to hear him out, though? At least everyone gets a chance to get heard out.
I was going to say, do you think there's any kind of reprieve? Like, is it possible?
You know what? I because it's so fresh and it's so new, I don't know where or how far he'll take it. So you can't really, do you know what I'm saying? You need to give it's got to have its test of time. Yeah. And then let's say if he sticks on this kind of path and, is, Christ-like or faithful, however you want to put it, for the next, few years, then I can say, I'm down. I get it. I understand where it's coming. Everybody goes to maybe that kind of growth and that progress, and then they find out who they really are, and then they're on their path. I've been through mine, so I kind of understand. But you gotta see exactly where it's going, and then if he comes out and splurts something out, before New Year's and you're like, Kanye, same old Kanye.
There is an interview which he's recently done with Zane Lowe.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah,
That's out.
I haven't actually even heard that.
It's about an hour long.
Yeah.
And it's in his farm.
Kanye's farm.
Yeah,
Kanye has a farm.
We're in America, maybe in a farm. He
like,
owns a farm.
Like we all do. As you do,
So he's in
milking
a farm,
cows and them.
It's quite interesting.
Oh,
I haven't heard the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
But there's points you think, I kind of see what you're trying to do. I'm not sure if I believe you, but I see what you're trying to do.
See, that's the thing. So you gotta, like I said, it's gotta stand the test of time, because at the end of the day, in 6-7 months' time, if he's still on the same path, you can come back to where he made this change and say, okay, you know what? I see the growth there is. Actually, he was going somewhere with it. He believes in it, and you gotta kind of follow his belief. But then again, you know what? Remember when he launched the his fashion range, and when he dropped the Yeezys, I was like, all right, cool, they're different a little bit. But then when he actually started putting people in sacks and told them to walk down a catwalk, and they were literally wearing sacks, like
actual sacks.
But the actual potato sacks. And I was like, wow, Kanye, seriously, that's not creative. And then he was, do you remember the rant about his t-shirts? The t-shirt rant
about Adidas and about no one supporting him, and investing in him.
Yeah.
I think,
exactly. So he's always had his moments, and he's been controversial from day when he said, was it Taylor Swift when he jumped on stage? And so he kind of his element of disappear, come out and do something crazy, disappear, come back, do something crazy. How many times I'm like, so this time you hear him and you're like,
but isn't that about? He knows how to use media.
That's what I'm thinking.
Isn't that he knows how to create controversy enough for people to be interested?
And we fall for it every single time, right? We're like, we've got a new album out, and all of a sudden it's going to be this sort of like new vertical, and we're all now talking about it, right?
Yeah.
And we're all talking about, from the MAGA hat to the other interviews to the farm that he supposedly owns somewhere
with sheep.
Do you know what I mean? And
I know from a previous album, that's where he launched the album.
Okay.
And that's where he launched the Yee album.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then that's where he owns that. He owns the farm there, and that's where the interview with Zane Lowe is.
Okay.
The thing is, though, I think Kanye got to the point in his career where he had achieved so much, and I think when you're that high up in terms of your creativity, it's very hard for people to tell you that what you're doing is wrong, especially if you've achieved so much success from it.
Hands down.
So to then go and, like, when he started getting involved with Kim and the whole Taylor Swift thing and the MAGA hat, and this is all just a higher level of everything that he's been doing throughout his career anyway. You've got to be that driven and that sort of, I don't care what people think.
Yeah, but do you remember when Jay-Z told him, like, no, I'm not down for this, and they beefed about it? Like, that's your mentor.
Yeah.
Like, you have to understand that Jay-Z was the guy who brought you to the level that you're at. He made you relevant. And if your mentor, I don't care. I know with mentors now, because I have so many, like, you have to kind of listen to what they're saying. They kind of have the rights to tell you what to do because they brought you through.
Yeah,
they've been through your part.
Yeah, but then you'll just like follow the same pattern that everyone will follow the same sort of patterns. If there's like a universal truth, everyone will just follow that universal truth. And I'm a very like devil's advocate type of person. I'm just like, okay, let's hear him out. And I'm always surprised that everyone is surprised that there's these new things. Like his last, wasn't it, the previous album was called Yeezus, which is
Yee was the last one.
Yeah. But I could have sworn
Yeezus was the one previously.
But that sounds obviously a lot like Jesus and stuff like that. So perhaps we could have preempted it a little bit. Not too sure. But I think
you saw it coming,
I saw it coming 5 years ago.
Look at us, we're talking about him.
Exactly.
He's just released an album, and we're talking about
him. Exactly. So,
yeah,
exactly. So he does have that. So you have to give him that. He makes controversy. Yes. But yeah, what else has there been in the news?
I got one.
Yeah.
What was it? So obviously you spoke about Mark Zuckerberg a little bit earlier, and I think there was a tweet that was posted. I predominantly get all this entertainment from Twitter. Yeah. I don't have Instagram, which is, everyone thinks I'm crazy for not having Instagram.
How can you be a social media influencer? How do you do your job? Like, I don't understand. Wait, did you invite the right person?
Oh no, you should have got my other business partner. You know, he's the one, the influencer. But Twitter always like fills me with a lot of like happiness and stuff. Not from the video. So bringing it back to Zuckerberg, I think there was a tweet that was the Madame Tussauds when they did like the US